Hey, what's up? How you doing? Glad to have you back. Grumps coming at you again with another quick and dirty first glimpse of Black Myth Wukong. First off, sorry this video is a bit later than I'd have liked it to come out. It is an absolute nightmare trying to get this game to run and record in the first couple of days. Chalk it up to shit luck and just bad software. I'll go into some of the details why in just a moment, but spoiler alert, I did finally manage to get the game running and have managed to get through the first chapter and a big chunk of the second chapter with minimal hiccup, so I'm finally able to bring you a bunch of first impressions, hints, and discoveries, and my thoughts as to why I think that this may be just one of the best action games to come out this year, if not the best action game to come out this year. Everyone keeps calling it an ambitious project, and I see why, and maybe I'll go into a little bit of that, but for now, glad you're here. Stick around, let's talk about it. Love you all. So first off, my system is no slouch. I'm running a Ryzen 9 5900X with 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. My GPU is a AMD RX 7900 XT. I didn't expect to have any challenges except maybe the odd hiccup, but not them to stop the game running completely. So I purchased this right on launch day, ready to forsake everyone and everything that day for the sake of just recording this game. And then nothing. I managed to get about as far as the first cutscene before my PC unceremoniously just locked up. GPU fans ramped up, and after a few brief minutes, I was back on the desktop. Everything running, fans ramped down, and got an AMD GPU driver crash warning. And that was my second experience too. So something was clearly wrong here. Decided to downgrade my driver, did a full wipe, and lo and behold, it worked just like that. Now, that led to the second problem. My first about 3 hours of footage, completely useless. So yeah, that was my first day completely wasted. So here we are a few days later, and I've spent a decent amount of time in the first area of the game and even more in the second area of the game, and I just wanted to talk about some early lessons and spoiler-free tips, as well as some very useful and maybe not so obvious game mechanics that are an absolute game changer once figured out, to hopefully give you as great an experience as I've been having with this game so far. So without further ado, let's jump in. To start off with, the game has a decent balance of challenge right off the bat. It throws a few enemies at you, just a little bit of variety, give you the ropes, light mini boss here or there. Then it starts to quickly kind of get into the thick of everything. While it is mostly linear in the beginning, it's kind of mostly just because it's still teaching you everything. There is still some exploration to do. Oh, wait. In my second attempt recording, I did actually find some things that I missed in my first run, so I was actually kind of grateful that, I had to start all over again to get the second recording done. The first chapter has a good mix of enemies to get you started, but also some harder enemies that do pose a bit of a challenge, including what I thought was a mini-boss, much more of a challenge than I initially thought. Fighting this guy taught me my first most important lesson about the combat in this game: patience. Don't button mash and hope that, you'll break through by luck with a combo with perfect hit. It happens from time to time, but you really have to be patient, kind of just gauge your hits, find your openings. It's a much lighter version of a From Software game, but there definitely have been some hints and moments where I've raged a bit and felt like I was, back in the thick of the lands between. Yeah, you do kind of get your groove with it, and you are really, really, really spec'd out for combat. Definitely don't button mash. Learn the enemy you're fighting. Learn your character's moves, the best moves to apply for different enemies. If you do button mash, you'll pay for it time and time and time again. No, just end this round, bro. Just end this round. Some of this shit, I won't lie, feels completely unfair in the first encounter. Be a bit more patient, and you'll be rewarded. You will be rewarded with openings, chances to land stronger attacks, and just take advantage to combine some of the skills you've been picking up along the way. Which leads me to my next hint, which is that as much as this game heavily relies on dodging as your primary means of negating enemy attacks, you also do have a sort of parry skill you're able to unlock early on in the game under the smash stance. The skill is called Resolute Counterflow, which essentially allows you to launch a heavy attack mid-combo right before an enemy counterattacks, or interrupts your light attack combo. When executed right, you'll successfully negate any damage their attack would have had on you. There we go, that's the one. And as an added bonus, your heavy attack is likely to cause the enemy to stagger, which leaves you an opening to launch even more attacks, which is brilliant for building up more focus for the next attack. Although sometimes it does come with some nasty surprises when you successfully launch the counterflow, but find that you're still unable to break the opponent's combo. For example, when fighting a boss, it's hit or miss, literally, with some of their attack sequences, so yeah, be careful sometimes. That was some bullshit. There's no map in the game. It's designed in a way that is kind of linear, so all routes kind of lead to the destination you're going, but then there are definitely offshoots and side quests that I have now started discovering more of in the second chapter that has made me want to like revisit the first chapter and see if there's anything I missed there, because no map at all, like there's some really big areas to explore and also alternative paths to get to a destination. So sometimes it's always good to just try and backtrack. Although in other instances this has kind of frustrated me a bit. Fuck, I just walked into a boss arena. I have actually ended up stumbling upon a lot of side bosses and mini bosses in this game. Just end up stumbling into an arena unexpectedly just because you thought like you were trying to pick up some loot. And it really does happen quite a bit. This is not where I'm supposed to be going. This is not where I'm supposed to be. So again, just be patient with the game. The no map thing does kind of get a bit tiresome, but then when you actually explore an area long enough, you do realize that all roads lead to Rome. Alright, this leads me to my next useful point. The jump attack in this game is one of your most useful tools in the toolset that you have straight from the jump. It's extremely useful because it does two things. Oh, bloody hell. One, it's super useful for closing the distance between you and an enemy if you use the light attack button while in midair. And second, if you successfully land that light attack, it then safely launches you out of the attack range of the enemy, which is extremely useful for some of these quicker opponents. And as an added bonus, if you're feeling even more sadistic, you're also able to quickly follow up the launch from the light attack straight into a heavy attack slam, all in one motion. Very useful for stacking damage, especially if you also have a focus point already in the tank for that heavy attack. I've found myself using this attack way more as the game progresses, and no lie, it's extremely satisfying every time you land this two-piece combo. A final bonus one for you, and I know this kind of seems like low-hanging fruit, but I only noticed it's pretty late into the second chapter. Like, does the trick. So absorbing those floating spirits with your gourd actually refills the gourd as well. If you find yourself stuck far away from a shrine or not wanting to rest, it's a very useful and lucky find that allows you to get a small bit of health refill on the fly without actually having to backtrack, or maybe if you're lucky enough to take out an actual big spirit, then yeah, it's a pretty big find. So enjoy that one. I'll be with you momentarily, sir. So let's talk about the game and what it's been like to actually play it. So what Black Myth Wukong is a good old-fashioned action game with all the modern bells and whistles that make for an enjoyable experience. Its straightforward story and mostly linear progression paths keep the pace constant, but with enough exploration and decent rewards from exploration that make you want to try different paths in each level. Just as much as the different abilities and skills you have both allow and make you want to explore the different ways there are to play out each encounter, both big and small. And trust me, there's no shortage of skills and enemies to test these skills on. I love the air of mystery in the narrative that keeps you moving forward trying to solve it. What's the mystery? Are you the Destined One? Are you the Monkey King Reborn? Yeah, it's that simple. It doesn't outright tell you the answer, but instead it lets you embark on this journey where the answers seem to lie on a path full of nothing but niggas trying to take you out, which is brilliant because combat is the one thing this game is chock full of, and also the thing it does so very well. The hits, they feel solid. Enemies, both big and small, flinch and can be staggered depending on what you throw at them. Your choices and encounters have consequences. And I know I fucked up by taking... Dude, I'm sorry. Fuck. I knew that was gonna... And the only thing more satisfying than getting a perfect dodge is chaining a bunch of them together just right to get out of what was most likely a run-ending attack. There's a deep and primal satisfaction about beating bosses in this game, not because they're a massive obstacle that has you cornered and crashing out for hours, but because each defeated opponent comes with a reward and a tale that makes the next chapter of your playthrough that little bit more exciting and mysterious as you try to figure out what comes next. The prologue of the game does a brilliant job of showing us just what you're capable of at full spec. And as each defeated enemy before you restores some of your former glory and mischief, it drives you to keep going to unlock the full potential that you know you're capable of. Every time you pick up the controller with this game, it's one thing in mind: forward progress. There's no camp or community to maintain, no grappling hook traversal puzzles to figure out, or time challenges to earn rewards from. It's just straight up pick up the controller, which way are we going, who's standing in my way, who's catching hands, and how well are they throwing hands back. No, god damn it. That's it, and I love that about this game. So while most of this video has focused primarily on the beginning and first chapters of the game, I actually have proceeded past this and I'm thoroughly enjoying this game still. The first chapter is a great introduction to what to expect from the game and gives you a decent grasp on what's coming. The boss fights just keep getting better and better, and with each defeated enemy, so do you, both as the protagonist of the game and you as a player. Each advancement brings more skills to unleash on all the enemies in your path, but also as a gamer you instinctively start playing with more of your arsenal as the situation demands it. And I think the game devs at Game Science really did have gamers in mind when you realize just how flexible this game is with some of the really out there attack combinations you eventually start coming up with. Whoopsie. Oh, that felt so good. All in all, I love this game. The last most linear game that I played that this keeps reminding me of is Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. And what I loved about that game is exactly what I love about this one. It's straight to the point and does the one thing it's supposed to do and does it well. And that's just be a bloody video game. Well, that's all for this one. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on what worked for you and what didn't. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I plan to work on a few more quick and dirty Black Myth Wukong hints and tips videos and shorts as I keep progressing through the game. But if you'd be interested in a longer form playthrough, let me know. Enough likes on this video and I'll put that together for you. Until then, peace.